I am Horaloo, the unbound barbarian version of Godfrey, and nothing you can do could possibly stop or even remotely cause me pain! Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, while we sit here playing the hell out of Elden Ring, most of us are waiting for the release of a beautiful and bountiful DLC, or at the very least, some word about it coming in some way, shape, or form. We're starved for it, and we are all totally excited at the prospect. However, as of the time being, we have heard nothing, and some fans of the game have taken it into their own hands. We've talked about mods before here on the channel, but none of them have really been quite as significant as the ones by Garden of Eyes, a modder and YouTuber who spends a ton of time messing around to make new things within this game, and recently they've been putting together what they call the Garden of Eyes DLC mod, a full-on overhaul with loads of weapons, armors, skins, and recreations of tons of little things like extra torrent versions. It changes the game on a significant level, and while we have a video on the channel about this mod as a whole if you want to check out more of an overview, today I thought it would be fun if we just sat down and had an in-depth look at one, you heard me, just one, of the brand new weapons created within this mod. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Whispering Terror, a curved greatsword that looks absolutely gnarly, a sort of tealy color to represent the glintstone magic held within, but the big selling point of this weapon is that it has a transformation. This transformation completely changes its moveset from the bottom up, and of course the visuals as well, making the weapon feel almost like two totally different experiences bundled up in one beautiful little ball of fun that you can hold in your hand and swing at your foes. So what is this weapon all about then? What makes it so special? What makes it worth showing you in this sort of long-form content for a single mod weapon? Well, to show that, let's talk about the moveset. First up, it's worth noting it is very different when wielded in one hand compared to two, so let's talk about the one-handed moveset first. The light attack combo is a forward lunge with a spinning diagonal slash, followed by a second diagonal slash, a slightly delayed slash in the opposite direction, and then it ends with a gnarly 3-hit combo slamming the weapon into the ground 3 times, with the first 2 slams each sending out a hail of little glintstone crystals and a glintstone arc each time, and then the final slam erupting around it with a magical aftershock. The heavy attack when uncharged shoots out a glintstone arc, and when charged fires out 3 volleys of glintstone crystals. And the second heavy in the combo when uncharged shoots out the glintstone crystals once more, but when charged instead does a downward slamming attack to create another glintstone aftershock. When two-handed, the light attack combo begins with a lunging diagonal slash, then is followed by 2 more diagonal slashes before finishing with a double volley of crystals and arcs. And the heavy attack combo starts with a glintstone crystal volley when uncharged, or an arc when charged, and then the follow-up works the same as the one-handed. Uncharged is 1 more glintstone crystal volley, charged is a big slam with the aftershock. That said, we've still only covered half of this weapon's moveset, because now we have the whole transformation, which is done by using the weapon skill Let Flow the Cosmic Blood.
Are we the baddies?
When you use this ability, a bloody rune appears before you. You do the animation for Seppuku, and the animation of the Briars of Sin sorcery happens around you as well, while you lose some of your health. When this happens, the blade will transform its regular teal hue to a crimson red, and when you do this, some of your moveset will change. Your one-handed light attacks will keep the same movements, but will have an aura of blood falling off of the blade with each strike, looking almost like rivers of blood, but not actually throwing out the bleed application lines. Then the final hit of the combo will slam the ground, causing another Briars of Sin to come up from underneath you. This also does damage to you, and if this hits an enemy, it will apply a notable amount of bleed status. The heavy attacks change to mimic Elmer the Briar, in that you will throw your blade around and control it while it is out of your hand. When uncharged, you swing the blade around once and then it returns to you. When charged, you swing it around twice, then do a slam when it returns to make more Briars of Sin pop up from the floor, again applying bleed status to any enemy hit with it, and also dealing damage to yourself. The second hit when uncharged throws the sword out again, for 2 swings this time. When charged, it throws the blade straight out. You punch more briars out of the ground for more bleed buildup and more self-damage, and then when the sword returns, you do another slashing stroke with it. When two-handed, the light attack chain looks the same, with the change at the end being the last 2 attacks have the bloody rune above you, implying that they too apply bleed, and then the heavy attacks are an altered version of Bloodhound Slash. The first one, charged or uncharged, will do a slash and then fling you backwards. If charged, you just go much further backwards. The second attack when charged will do a large forward lunge and then just a long slash, whereas uncharged charged, it will do a shorter range slash, but also creates Briars of Sin under you for more bleed status application and, of course, self-damage. All in all, the moveset is quite complex. The one-handed and two-handed variations are significantly different from each other, and it changes even further after the transformation. It is an incredibly well-made mod weapon with an absolute ton of depth to it and a lot of custom things done. And so today I'm going to treat it as if it is an actual weapon within the game and see what we can do with it. First up, that means I'm going to make a build for it, of course, and then we're just going to go around and kill stuff for a while and see how it feels. See if it feels balanced, see if the build that I've made for it feels right, and just, well, obviously, how much fun is it to actually use in general, just going throughout the game. Before we jump into that, then let's talk quickly about the build that I've done here. The weapon scales pretty much equally with strength, dexterity, and arcane, but in theory the arcane should boost the bleed application when it does happen, so I've gone pretty heavy into arcane. I've got the Dragon Communion seal as a seal that scales with arcane, the white mask as this weapon can apply bleeds, and this gives me a 10% bonus to all damage done for 20 seconds after a bleed happens. The Bloodlord's Exaltation Talisman is here for the same reason, giving me a 20% bonus in the same situation. The Shard of Alexander to boost the damage the transformation does, which is a surprisingly large amount. The Axe Talisman, as the heavy attacks are far and away the strongest things that this weapon has in its arsenal, and the Magic Scorpion Charm Talisman, as every weapon hit has magic damage, and of course a number of the extra effects that come out of this weapon are magic damage as well. For my Flask of Wondrous Physic, I've got buffs to both magic damage and to charged attacks for obvious reasons. Then for spells, I have the classic Golden Vow for 15% bonus damage and 10% damage reduction buff for 80 seconds after casting, as well as Flame Grant Me Strength for 20% bonus physical and fire damage for 30 seconds after casting. With this, we have a fully complete build for the weapon, treating it the same way that we would any other weapon so that we can give it a fair showing and see what it is truly capable of. Without further ado then, let's just go out there and kill some shit. First things first then here, we're going to have a go at little Godfrey here. Little Godfrey? Yeah, little Godfrey, the tiny little tyke who has a lion on his back, and he really isn't terrifying to anyone at all, except for maybe me, because I'm honest sometimes. Look, this is going to be a nice big test for this build. He's one of the final bosses of the game, and I'm going to be treating it like a proper fight. Going to be seeing what we got here. Going to be using it mostly one-handed as far as the weapon goes. Didn't want to get hit by that. That's not good. But I do get to get that off, which is nice. Dodge that. Okay. Dodge that. Go in for that. Dodge that. Light. No light. Smack. Let's try getting one of these off. And I will, but he's not really in it, which is not as good. Okay, heal up, dodge, don't dodge actually, just fail to dodge. This is much more accurate. Dodge, another one, dodge. Now we can do the charge one. And he smacks me into the ground. Fair enough, honestly. He is a big man with a large axe. Ooh, there we go. That was nice. I think we got our bleed proc there. Yeah, that's good. Which means that we can just do that from a little bit further. Wow. What, this, I have no idea if that is what is intended to happen or not. I'm gonna keep hitting things. Okay, so the plan was to just, kill some hefty stuff, just a little bit of hefty stuff, then just, run through the game, kill a bunch of littler things, just see how it feels in regular game context, But after that sort of incident with Godfrey, I don't even know how else to refer to it. It's an incident, okay? I'm going to go in here, I'm going to use the Let Flow of the Cosmic Blood, so I'm in the blood mode. I'm going to summon a Mimic Tear to hopefully grab some of the aggro, and basically I'm just going to see if I can recreate that, because that did not, to me at least, seem even remotely intended. Okay, that's a poor dodge. Just gonna see if I can let the Mimic here take a... Okay, I'm just not dodging lightning bolts today, that's fine. Who needs to dodge those? It's not like they do damage or... Whoa, okay, he's using the Ash. Good job, Mimic. Now I'm going to use it. And I am going to hit him, and that's good. Okay, he doesn't do that. Okay. So I'm not having that interaction right now. So that doesn't seem to be a repeatable thing. I think I just sort of fucked the game a little bit there, which is, it happens sometimes. Oh God. Oh, stop it. I guess I'm just going to do that, just for fun, just a little bit of a crit. I'm out of healing. I'm out of healing. That's one thing about the blood mode that I've noticed. It saps your health a lot, because a lot of the attacks take your health, as you can see with my Mimic there. So I'd like to not be on his leg. That's better. Now we can actually do this. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm still alive. That's more than I thought I would be. There, there, there. Wow, that does a lot of stagger. That's nice. You like a good stagger, don't you? I mean, I do. Who doesn't like a good stagger? Does a lot of good for everyone. Send him a good arc. Send him another good arc, maybe. Good slam, even. Oh, I timed that badly. This is basically just to see if that was a normal thing. And can confirm what happened to Godfrey, not a normal thing. So as we walk up to the boss room for Melania, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different here. I'm going to be swapping my my talismans out a little bit. There still can be bleeds. Bleeds can still happen. But one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the combos for this weapon, especially the way that I'm using it, actually do a lot of hits. And so I'm going to see how the successive hits talismans work with this. I'm going to, I think, try to avoid going into the transformed version of this weapon for a bit at least, because I think I can get a lot more hits out with the base version. Gonna see how this goes. Gonna see what the Mimic does. Just walking in, straight up going for a hit. Classic. Alright, the shards do very little. By themselves, at least. The weapon hits, of course, are the weapon hits, so that's a bit of a different story. Oh, the weapon hits do way more. Oh no, I'm in the wrong spot for this. That's not at me, so I can just, you know, casually just toss a couple of pots in, just hit her, make her have some fun. You know, this is sort of cool. It's almost like me and the Mimic are using two totally different weapons. The stagger value on that is massive. The damage is pretty good. It's not absolutely busted, but it's pretty good. Nothing wrong with pretty good damage. Oh, there's a lot of poise on a lot of this. Poise and poise break. That's hard to fight against. I guess I'm going to go into superpower mode here. See if we can get this off. Oh, we got the bleed off. That's fun. Oh, timed that poorly. Get the aggro taken away by the Mimic again. He's doing some good damage with those arcs. And now he's down. Oh, we're swapping. Wasn't ready for the mode transform. Huh? Come on, walk at me. Oh, thank you. Well, watch where you're pointing that thing. Okay, last heal. Ooh, and it's a big one. And then... Oh, real one. Okay. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm just gonna walk through, beat up some regular dudes for a bit. That's the current plan. Want to see how this handles just, you know, men of the armor. Wow, okay, the light attacks don't do much in the first couple, but then you get to the end of the combo, and wow, that slaps. It's not a super high scaling weapon, and if I was like level 200, level 250, if I really wanted to push it and go to a ridiculous level, then I would obviously be a lot higher scaling, because it's double Bs. But instead, we've got what we are, and the damage is okay. I definitely, see, for how powerful it can be in certain situations, I think the damage of each individual hit is not actually that silly. Like, that's sort of what balances the weapon. It's like the end of the light combo, the end of the heavy combo, all of which do a lot. But they're just, the original, like the base attacks themselves don't seem to be overly meaty. So while it does have a lot going on, and while sometimes it can bug and just one-shot Godfrey from like half health, we won't talk about that. I don't want to relive that moment in the wrong way. Look, I didn't necessarily mean to do Godskin Duo today, but they're here. I was just trying to see if they were in the area. Slam's all right. Okay, let's let him hit over there. And I'm just gonna do nothing to the big guy right now. Okay, stagger. I mean, the crits doesn't seem to do that much, so I'd rather just get attacks off. Oh god, he's going big boy mode. Okay, that's that one. Did he just kill? He killed the other one all by himself. He's a good little guy over here, isn't he? One of those. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Last heal. Dodge that. Dodge that. Focus on one who's low, because I can just end him real quick. And now we just got to hit him once. Okay. So again, this doesn't feel ridiculous. Obviously, a Mimic's going to do what a Mimic's going to do with a good weapon. It is a good weapon. We are built around it. I don't have a heal. I don't know why I went for that. I just need to slap him once, and then we can talk about this. And that'll do for the testing section, everyone. I hope you enjoyed a look at what this weapon would look like just using it for the game in general, taking it against some of the harder bosses that the game has to offer, but also just bringing it through and killing some fodder as well to see how it holds up, and, well, of course, just how fun it is to use. So what are my thoughts on this weapon then? Overall, I think it is quite possibly the best mod weapon that I have played with as of this point in time, by which I mean the moveset is just so unbelievably unique unique and well put together, made and pieced together from just so many different places to make something extremely special to actually wield. It is super fun to use. There are like 4 different play styles that you can focus around depending on how you want to build the weapon, whether you want to use it one-handed or two-handed, whether you want to focus on the magic version or the blood version, and that amount of variety in a singular weapon is absolutely staggering, especially when every single version of it works so well. On top of that, it doesn't feel brokenly strong, outside of, when it breaks and cuts Godfrey in half in one swing, but bugs happen, it's a part of life. Overall, it feels quite balanced. The general weapon hits aren't overly strong. In fact, the beginning hits of the combos are relatively tame. They're actually sort of weak, with the later hits in the combos having a lot of meat behind them. This evens out to being really strong against lesser enemies and not overly strong against meatier foes, but this makes it pretty enjoyable in my opinion. Clearing levels becomes less of a task, but bosses are still bosses and still feel like bosses that are a thing to overcome. With that on top of how fun it is to actually use and how diverse the moveset actually is, I consider this mod weapon an extreme success. I hope you've all enjoyed this then, something a bit different for sure, a little bit of an exploration into a new weapon, a mod weapon, treating it somewhat like a build, somewhat like an experiment, and honestly just trying to show off one of the coolest things that I have ever seen someone add to the game through a mod. Let me know if you want more stuff like this in the future, because I'd be happy to make it for you. Like if you like the video, subscribe with the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.